Hi, favorite teacher. I'm Tori from Next Day Teaching, where I give you classroom management tips and strategies that you can use tomorrow. Today, I want to talk to you about my favorite bathroom hand signal, especially for upper elementary, grades 4 and 5. This is for you. Here's what happens in most classrooms that I've seen. The teacher asks a discussion question. Several students raise their hands, and the teacher calls on one. Instead of answering that question, though, the student asks, "Can I go to the bathroom?" Now, as the teacher, you have to make a lot of decisions really quick, even more than you already make in a normal day. You have to decide, is it the best time for the student to go to the bathroom? Is it the best time for this student to go to the bathroom? If they don't go now, will it cause a problem later? If they do go now, will everyone else have to go too? All because you didn't put a simple bathroom hand signal in place. I'm going to show you my favorite. It's crossed fingers. I tell the students it's the letter R in sign language, R for restroom. So when they need to go to the bathroom, instead of raising their hand and asking a question, they raise crossed fingers instead. It's easy to see at a glance whose fingers are crossed versus whose hand is raised. Now, if the students are self-conscious, they could just quietly put their crossed fingers on their desk or maybe not raise their hand all the way. That's fine too. The second part of this strategy, besides crossed fingers, is making eye contact with the teacher or looking at the teacher. I'll tell you why in a minute. So now you're teaching, you ask a discussion question, several students raise their hands. As you're scanning the room, you notice that one of those raised hands is actually crossed fingers. So now you know exactly why that student's raising their hand. They're not trying to answer your question, they're asking to go to the bathroom. So the best follow-up from you, the teacher, and this is why students need to be making eye contact or looking at you, is because your response is also non-verbal. You don't have to say a word. You give a nod as you're returning eye contact with the student. A nod means yes, a head shake means no, and a held up finger means wait one moment. So you might tell a student no if, for example, you're doing a timed test, or if you know that there's a surprise evacuation or fire drill coming up in a few minutes. You might ask them to wait 1 minute if you're actively in the middle of explaining directions. If another student is out in the bathroom right now, have them wait until that student comes back. Now, if the student is raising their hand with crossed fingers, but they're not looking at you, they're looking at the wall or out the window or down at their desk, ignore them. Obviously, they don't need to go to the bathroom that badly if they're not looking at you. This reinforces eye contact, it reinforces situational awareness, and it helps with nonverbal communication that lets you keep teaching your lesson without interruption. So when you introduce this to your class, you're going to teach the process. You're going to say, class, going forward, we are no longer going to be just raising our hands to go to the bathroom. That is causing too many disruptions. It's derailing discussions, and it's getting us off track. From now on, when you need to go to the bathroom, you're going to cross your fingers. Everybody do it. You're going to tell them, everybody cross your fingers. This is the sign language letter R, R for restroom. Then you're going to tell them what else they need to do, that eye contact piece. Remember, class, when you cross your fingers, it's not enough to just stick your hand in the air and hope that I notice you. You need to be looking at me. You're asking me a question without using words. Depending on your class, now might be a great time to get into what nonverbal communication means and looks like for your grade level. You're going to tell them, the reason you're looking at me is because my answer to you is not going to use words. I will nod, and that means you can insert your bathroom procedure here. Stand up, push in your chair, go sign out, or go to the iPad and sign out for the bathroom, or take the pass, whatever system you have in your room. We're not changing that. You're going to continue telling them, if you ask and I shake my head, that means no, you cannot go at this time. Now, of course, we don't ever want to tell students you cannot ever use the bathroom. That's not a good idea. But you might tell them, There will always be a good reason. You can ask me again in 5 minutes. I will come check in with you, whatever procedure, policy you want to have put in place that works for you, your school, your classroom. And then you want to tell them, if I hold up one finger, that means wait one moment. Maybe I'm in the middle of directions. Maybe another student is out in the bathroom right now, or maybe we just need to, I'm about to give you something really important. I'm about to start passing out homework and I need you here for the explanation, something like that. So nod means yes, head shake means no, one finger up means wait one moment. You're going to tell them that you're not going to stop teaching. All of this takes place behind the scenes while you are still giving your lesson, while you are still leading discussions, while you are still giving direct instruction, while you are still providing directions and help and support. What this takes away is the interruption and the 13 million decisions that you have to make on the spot when a kid raises their hand and asks, "Can I go to the bathroom?" Nonverbal signal is much, much easier to let yourself breathe, not feel like you are under pressure to make an immediate decision in that moment, as well as to respond to the student without interrupting the flow of your lesson. So I want to tell you what this looks like in the real world. I've got 2 stories for you. The first one is from my second year of teaching. I taught a combined class of 3rd and 4th graders, so the 3rd graders from my first year of teaching looped up with me to be my 4th graders. So it was around mid-morning, first day of school. I was going over procedures and explanations and putting stuff away. And one of my 4th graders who had me as a teacher last year just quietly showed me his little fingers crossed, held them sort of on top of his desk and gave me this stare of like, "Hey, pay attention to me, please." And I had to laugh because I hadn't even gone over the bathroom procedure yet, but he remembered it from last year and remembered it so well that he used it before I even gave the explanation. So I laughed, I let him go, and then I made a mental note to maybe go over the bathroom procedure a little bit earlier in the following years. The second time I used this was during an observation. So I had the principal in my classroom taking notes as I was teaching. And as I was teaching, as I was doing the direct instruction part of my lesson, I would have students cross their fingers, and it wasn't a super critical part of the lesson, so I'd let them go. Or we'd be having, class discussion. They'd be asking to go to the bathroom. I'd let them go. And afterwards, the principal called me aside and she said, "Why did you have students keep leaving the classroom? Did you know that they were leaving?" And I looked at her and I said, "Yeah, they were asking to go to the bathroom." And she was like, "They were? They didn't say a thing." And I said, "Yeah, I know. They had crossed fingers. I saw that they were asking. That's our signal in our classroom. I gave them a head nod as I was teaching and the lesson continued." She absolutely loved it. So go ahead and try that in your classroom. Leave me a comment. Let me know how it went. If you need support, please ask me a question. I would love to help you on that. And if you want some more of my favorite no prep strategies, then check out Stop the Chaos, which is a free guide that I put together. I'll leave the link in the description below. You can download the guide today and put these in your classroom tomorrow. I hope you have calm transitions and quiet hallways.